So, not only does the whole process with getting a brand new coach always kind of is iffy, especially when either you're promoting a coach from one position to another, like we did with our safeties coach, or you're going out there and plucking someone from another team or the free agent market. It's always kind of iffy, right? Because you want it to work out, and in your head, you think it's going to work out, but it's not always the case. A lot of times, especially with positional coaches, you have veterans that do help out and are able to kind of get that guy right into the coaching job, figure out what he has to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and be able to kind of move on from there. Then you have our position that we're currently in, where we have a brand new safety / secondary coach, but we don't really have any veterans in the secondary when it comes to safety wise. We have Jordan Battle, who's a rookie, now going to be a second-year guy. Dax Hill, who's going to be a third-year guy. Nick Scott, who probably ends up getting cut. And then finally, Tyson Anderson, who's also young as well. So you have a lot of young guys, in a safety room. And now you have our boy Jordan here, our coach Jordan here, who needs to come in and rally everyone together, get everyone on the same page, and make sure that this secondary can progress in a correct way that, in all honesty, becomes one of the best in the NFL. That's the expectations right now for Jordan, and that's going to be a difficult task, but I think he's up for it because we have some pretty damn good safeties at this moment in time. Now, keep in mind, we could always bring in a veteran safety this offseason once we cut Nick Scott, or we could go ahead and draft someone as well. There's always those options available. But at this moment in time, we kind of have to work with what we have, which again is Dax Hill, Jordan Battle, and Tyson Anderson. Let's talk about what our brand new coach had to say about Dax Hill. He said experience is the most important thing in anything, especially in the NFL. He's been great. He's got the skill set. He can cover, and that's not easy to come by for safeties. He's had high highs. He's had some really good plays. And I'm sure he'd be the first to tell you there's a few plays that he would like to have back. But that's what happens when you're young safety. He's done a great job just trying to get a little bit better over the course of the season. I have high expectations for Dax. Looking forward to working with him and expect him to make bigger strides this year. That's interesting, that statement he said there. He can cover, and that's not really easy to come by for safeties. I feel like there's a lot of safeties, though, that can cover well, right? Because it depends on what kind of safety you are. Are you a run support safety or you're a coverage safety? I mean, there's a lot of cornerbacks who actually, they convert from corner to safety because they can't cover as well, but they can still cover somewhat well. And they're also really good tacklers. Maybe they're really good in the run support game. So, I mean, I never really thought about it. I mean, obviously, Jesse Bates is amazing, but I guess, yeah. I mean, no, I'm not trying to, question his knowledge. Obviously, he knows way more than I would ever know. But at the same time, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of, safeties that could also, safeties in college that convert to corners. Who they played safety in the NFL, they could be good coverage guys. But at the same time, if I list off the top safeties, there's only so many I can list off that are really great in coverage, and the other ones I would say are more good at tackling, run support, reading the quarterback, play recognition, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to agree with his statement. Next thing he said was, anytime you're going from a nickel to a safety, there is a transition. There's a learning curve. Once you're on the back end of this thing, you're really the quarterback of the defense. Yeah, that's the thing about safeties. And that's one position that I feel like linebacker and safety, hardest positions to play on defense. Because as he said, yeah, you're really the quarterback of the defense. Especially because most teams, their linebackers call their plays. They're the one who get the plays in on the mic from the headset from the defense coordinator, and now they have to relay the whole entire message of the whole entire defense to every single player from just that one player. So if that player is hurt or something's going on, he can't relay the message to everybody, defense falls apart, right? So you either have your middle linebacker. Sometimes some teams will make their safety that position. It really depends on what the team wants to do and who they trust the most. I know he's continuing to learn and grow there, and communication is one of the areas we need to take a huge step forward. We're the quarterback. We're running the defense. We got to communicate. We got to communicate. Make sure everyone's on the same page. I expect him to do a great job in that area. And that's something that I believe it was Jordan Battle who actually said that really at the end of the day is playing safety. Well, yes, you can know what you're doing. You can study what you need to do. You can make sure you have all your, what's that mentality? Cross your I's, dot your I's, cross your T's, right? You can make sure everything is perfect. But at the end of the day, the only way you can get better is by getting out there on the practice field. Getting out there in actual game, and communicating with one another. Learning what your other players on your defense, what makes them tick, what they're good at, what they're bad at, what you have to overcome to help them out to be able to get to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And as Coach said here about communication, yeah, that's what all that really is. 90% I feel like of secondaries is that communication of knowing, okay, well, I have safety over top. I have a guy behind me. How many times have you seen a defensive play where an offense hikes the ball, right? They throw the ball. The cornerback's just sitting there like, okay. And the ball goes right over top the cornerback's head to a wide receiver going for a touchdown. And you're like, what? Why did that cornerback not react? Because he thought there was safety over top. And that was miscommunication. And because he thought he had a safety over top, he's not covering deep. He's covering underneath. He has a zone, but because he thought it had the safety over top, then he doesn't have to cover that area. So that's, again, all communication, all knowing what's going on every single play. And as Coach said here, yes, depending on who your signal caller is, they have to relay that message to the whole entire defense. They have to make sure everyone understands, hey, safety, you're covering deep. You're going here. You're doing this. You're doing this. Make sure you do this. And that's their job. So I'll be interested to see over the next couple of years if eventually we get to a point where Dax Hill is that guy who is the signal caller and really has that mic in his helmet and gets to help call the plays. I'll be interested. I'm very excited for Dax Hill. Obviously, me personally, I'm more excited for Jordan Battle because I just love Jordan Battle. But both of them, I think, are going to be really great safeties, especially because they're young. They're young. They're going to develop. They're going to get better. And, yeah, it's going to come down to our coach here, Jordan, really taking that next step forward with them. And honestly, as a brand new coach now, growing, right? He got promoted, obviously not brand new, but he got promoted, but now in this role, brand new in this role. And he's going to have to, grow with us. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.